She had cooked all sorts of things that she bunged in the freezer for her husband and their daughter, and we made akara. So she couldn't remember how to make akara, so together we made akara on that day. Did you eat some of it? Yeah. So Joyce is a woman of many parts. Joyful, joyous, brave. She was a seasoned banker, a tutor, entrepreneur, now author, coach, and now a passionate, inspirational speaker. You'll hear her speak. Her banking career, hang on, were you a cobbler? She met you? Yes, I remember. In your office in Ikeja, I came there. Did you make them or did you repair them? She did both. So she started that before she left here. She was doing that with her banking. Yeah, that just came to me that you. Then she had a shop as well. I didn't know the shop there. So her banking career spans 25 years, working in various banks and financial institutions, both in Lagos and in London. She later retrained and became a tutor in health and social care, teaching nurses and cares of the elderly. This remarkable woman retrained again as a real estate agent and set up a very successful property business, which she managed until 1st of April 2015, when tragedy struck and she fell seriously ill with sepsis of the blood. The medical team caring for her told her husband that she only had 24 hours to live. Both her legs were amputated, plus 7 of her fingers, whilst you were in coma. Yes, so she woke up to find that they were gone. She was on admission in hospital for 9 months, and in and out of hospital admission for the following 18 months. She was nicknamed the Miracle Woman, as indeed she is. Today her brand name is Joyce Survivor. Joyce was undeterred by her situation, and in February 2018, she joined the UK Sepsis Trust as a volunteer, spreading information on sepsis awareness. Spreading information on sepsis awareness everywhere and any place where people cared to listen to her. This included speaking at various councils, schools, and churches. Joyce was invited by the St. George's Hospital, nearly everyone knows St. George's Hospital, in London in November 2019, to speak to a group of 100 medical students, including medical researchers and clinicians, giving a patient's perspective regarding sepsis. The Community Health Neurome Directorate, East London, NHS Foundation Trust, invited her to speak on sepsis awareness in May 2018. Colourful Radio London interviewed Joyce for 1 hour in December 2019 about her illness and her book entitled My Miraculous Survival After Sepsis. Joyce was invited to King's Court Chapel and the International Church of Christ, both in Atlanta, USA, in February and March 2020 as an inspirational speaker. Joyce is an encourager by nature and a passionate inspirational speaker with a relentless positive approach to life. She reaches out to people everywhere and inspires them with an infectious smile. Her strength is phenomenal in spite of her limb amputations. She has written a book which became a bestseller, and the book we're going to be launching today, so you've heard that, is actually a bestseller. And it was a bestseller within a week of publication on Amazon, and still attracts 5-star ratings. This incredible woman has a vision to help 13.9 million disabled people. I know, rounded up to 14. 13.9 million disabled people to discover their inner strength, live beyond their limitations, and believe in themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, the lady whose cause we're here to celebrate, whose life we're here to celebrate, whose book we're here.
Private room and going through all this pain. Things were coming into my head, and the pain was so much, I just thought, I can't carry on. I've just got to go. So I hatched up an idea. When, actually, at this time, what I could see, the legs had gone, were my hands, and they were jet black and claw-like and scary. And I remember that the nurses always came to wrap it up for me when my young daughter, she was 7 then, came to visit me so that she's not scared, because they were really scary. So I told the daughter, when I said, I want these fingers amputated. And he refused. And I said, why? He said, Joyce, we struggled to keep you alive many times in the theater, and your heart is not strong enough for any more anesthesia. And then he said, well, what happens is that those black bits, they will just fall off, and that's what we're hoping. And I said to him, doctor, I come from a family of doctors. I wanted to be a doctor, but I just didn't get my biology and physics right, or no maths. He smiled. And I said, from what I think as a layman, if you don't take these fingers off, they are going to rot all the way down, and I won't have any digits left. And he agreed with me. So I said, you've got to do this. And he said, I'll let you know. It took him 3 months. And the 3 months was because of my heart. Every day he'd come and see me, that your heart is not strong enough. My blood was even being taken 3 times a day. I had a cannula. I no longer felt any pain from where they tried to get the blood. So eventually, the day before the operation, when they agreed, I felt so happy. My family members came to see me, and they were wondering why I was so happy, but I didn't say I just happened to be cheerful on that day. But in my mind, I really thought that when I was put to sleep for this operation, I wouldn't come round. So now for the pivotal point, that pivotal point of my life. The operation took place, the fingers were amputated, and to my chagrin, I woke up. And the first thing I said to myself was, oh my God, what do I do now? And I said, God, what do I do now? I didn't hear anything. But it was at that point that I realized that the power of life and death was not in anyone's hands. It's not in our hands, it's in God's hands. If He decides it's time, then it's time. So I sat there, not trying to kill myself, but just saying to myself, well, okay, Lord, it's time to go, I'm coming home. I didn't get a reply, but I just thought, well, I'm coming home anyway, like it or not. But I came round, and I also thought to myself, there must be a purpose in this pain. And God had preserved my life because of a day like this. He wants me to be able to give a testimony and to be an encourager to other people. I must say, as I got better, I went into rehab at Queen Mary's Hospital. I spent another 2.5 months there. And I met other amputees worse than me, amputated right up to the groin. So I asked the nurses, I was getting stronger. I went to that gym, I think maybe for another 6 months after I left that hospital. And I would go and talk to people to let them know what they can do. They can ask for prosthesis for their arms and for their legs. And the reason I did that was because I was discharged to remain in a wheelchair permanently. And they refused to give me prosthesis. So what I thought I'd do, I went to a private gym. I had somebody to help me with the exercises to strengthen my limbs, which were really very weak. Did that for a month. And then I went back to Queen Mary's Hospital, and I told the doctor, I said, I want to have this. God did not make us to sit down throughout our lives. I've got to be moving around. And the way I could do this is if I had this prosthesis. So she said, okay, get on the plinth in her room. So I got on the plinth. She called the physio and the occupational therapist in. They put me through such a rigorous exercise. I was in pain, but I didn't show it. Because if I did show it, I'd never get those legs. After that, they all said, okay, I should be, I should come to the gym and they're going to see what they're going to do. So, I'm sorry, it appears that this screen, this screen should be moving things. My slides, who is handling that? Where are the technical people? Well, here I'm wearing cosmetics, and this is cosmetic only. I cannot walk in this. This was at a wedding, but it's only for my shoes. So that's for outings. There's another picture before this which actually shows me in my postgrad. That's it. This is what I finally got. And I was able to move around in this. I would go on the buses. I would go to the shops. And this is a poster I have. That's my book on one side. And other side, who can comprehend the thunder of God's power? Because really, my being alive at all is through His power and His grace. I've talked about my story. Right. This is where this is what we need to do now. I've got that, what you're seeing on the screen. I've got it here to read. Usually, I would speak from my head and I would forget a lot of things, so I decided to have this particular thing printed. What is sepsis, you might ask? Sepsis is a life-threatening condition that arises when the body's response to an infection causes injury to its own tissues and organs. The condition develops when the chemicals that the immune system releases into the bloodstream to fight the consequence of COVID-19, and the link between them is clear. COVID-19 is characterized by the immune and coagulation systems overreacting to infection. This is sepsis. This link is important not only to help describe and understand the condition, but also to help understand what people may experience following COVID, often known as long COVID. That is a long-term one, many months, perhaps even years. After they've had COVID, they still have all kinds of symptoms all sort of problems with their health. Oh, this is what sepsis looks like on the arm, jet black. And I had that. So I got this, I googled this actually. This is somebody's arm. The next one, these are the feet of this person, also jet black. Of course, when one gets better, somehow all this blackness disappears, because I don't have it now, but that is what I had. Now let's look at symptoms in adults, symptoms of sepsis. 1, slurred speech and confusion. Extreme shivering or muscle pain. Passing no urine in a day. These are the things we need to look out for and see the doctor if any of these things happen to you. Severe breathlessness. It feels like you are going to die. Skin is mottled or discolored. When I first saw these symptoms put up in the A&E, because I had to go to A&E to have my wound dressed, and I turned to the receptionist, I said, but I didn't have any of these symptoms. So where is mine? And she said, perhaps we shall put it in under, it feels like you are going to die. Next is common causes of sepsis. These include infections of lungs, such as pneumonia, kidney, bladder, and other parts of the urinary system, your digestive system, the bloodstream, catheter sites, wounds, or burns. And I would just like to add at this point that at the time I fell ill, flu, which is a fever, high fever and temperature, was a culprit. People who ended up having sepsis had had flu, they've been treated, they've had a 5-day treatment, they didn't get better. So they went back to see the doctor. And this is where the phrase, could it be sepsis? The doctor will say, okay, let's take your blood and check for that. So we have all over the hospitals and in GP surgeries the sign about sepsis, symptoms, and specifically you asking, the patient must ask the doctor that could it be sepsis, because he would have tried everything if he didn't find it, because sepsis is very difficult to find in some people. Like I was in coma for 7 weeks. It is not until the 3rd week of my coma that they found meningococcal bacteria. I think that's the big bacteria for meningitis. That is when they knew that I had sepsis. I've talked about that, and I had learned from my experience. I had to start thinking straight. I accepted what had happened and believed that the Lord had a purpose for me. And I remember asking him in prayer that, so what would you have me do, Lord? You know the kind of work I was doing. No hands, no feet. What would you have me do? I didn't get an answer. And then I said to the Lord that whatever it is that you want me to do, give me the enablement to do it. And I believe that he heard that prayer. Another prayer that I also said every single day after I came out of coma is that, Lord, please help me never to fall into depression as a result of my disabilities. And he heard that prayer. Because to this day, I've never looked down and asked myself, oh, where are my legs? It doesn't even occur to me. What I did always up to this moment is to strive to be what I was before. Which is why, as Princess Tenny said, I was cooking, I was doing everything I was doing before. I broke all the plates because I couldn't hold them. I spilled my husband's food on the floor, and he would say, he'd do it himself. I said, well, I'm supposed to serve you. So I kept trying, and now I don't break plates anymore. I can carry the tray. So. I thank my husband very much. He stood by me through thick and thin. I prayed it would happen, but it's good to have loved ones around you, good friends and family, and one should allow them to help and to keep them in the know, because it can be very lonely when you're seriously ill. The time that I was discharged, and one day I sat in my chair and I remembered my black shoes, which were under the bed on the left-hand side, which was 9 years before. So I said to my son, I said, oh, can you get my black shoes under the bed on the left-hand side, my court shoes? And my son went up. By the time he got to the middle of the staircase, he said, Mom, what shoes? Then I remembered that there were no legs. And I laughed. My son was very, very upset. I said, but I have a right to ask for my shoes. I don't have any legs. I mean, I might want to have a look at them. But really at that point, I did not realize that legs were there. All I wanted was to wear my black shoes, which had been under the bed. So, we're not here yet. Are we? Joyce ni Toloni. I must say, I forgot to mention this, on several occasions, the doctor says I had 24 hours to live because I wasn't responding to any treatment. And so they would tell my husband, go home and prepare the children. And by the time he got back to the hospital, I was okay. So that 24 hours is now, up to this minute, 81,000 hours, and I'm still counting. I have written a book entitled My Miraculous Survival After Sepsis. It's here, it's available. You can read all about it. I've just kind of talked a little bit about what's in the book. So for more information, get the book. I finished.
Whether it's urine or blood, they can go and test it and determine what organism is causing this. They can determine the sensitivity of the antibiotics to the organism. So you need microbiology support. You need radiology to check whether your lungs are functional. You need chemical pathology because they're going to be checking your electrolytes and urea and everything all the time, multiple times a day. So you need that kind of supportive system during the period of illness.
It's an electric car. It's an electric car.
Oh, I thought it was a Rolls, it's a Ferrari. Okay.
Where others have built for us, we who are singing remember the past, praising our fathers and those who in faithfulness build for our future traditions to last. Proud of our name, may we add to his fame, by true service to God and mankind. Satan's,
He didn't expect it. So a book like this is a good one to have, for one to read and to give to others, to prepare for life, the way it comes. Because life may not be all smile all the time. The rainbow will come, but that is what's supposed to come. Life will at times be a matter of laughing and joking and eating and drinking. It could also be weeping. And I pray that weeping will not be our portion. In Jesus' mighty name. This book is very clear. We are told on how April 1, 2015, our sister encountered this challenge. But she has overcome. She has overcome. If did not overcome, then I should have been dead. We would have been dead by now. Or would have been somewhere, kept somewhere unknown. That not allowing this to be an incapacity, she's come up stronger. Maybe she's doing better than if nothing went on for her. You don't know. Because it goes right the whole world now inspiring people. So when I got to know about her a couple of days ago through my wife, and I said, wow, today is a busy day for me. But I was very inspired by what I heard about her. I then said, as a Rotarian, and as a human being that has blood and feeling, I should have time for it like this. And that's why I'm sure many of us are here. I invited about 15 people just to at least come with me. But I'm sure I have about 8 or 9 who are here. Many is 2 or 3 come yesterday, they were flying to Abuja today, and 2 also said it's not easy coming from the island to the mainland at this time and going back. You know, but I will take off the exercise by appealing to all of us to please, this is the book, The Miraculous Survival After Sepsis, by my sister Joyce. A boy there who had been a dose of water over the years. This
is apart from the undisclosed amount.
It's all part of it.
It's all part of it. Thank you so very much. This is yours in your paper.
Let me
To call them.
I want to please appeal to my brother. I know I've kept you here. The local government is asking for you to come back. So quickly do yours so I can release it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and the daddies and mummies here. Well, as a public figure, I have come here to honor my Edmond. No matter how busy I am, I have been inspired, and as such, I've got 7 functioning primary health centers. I've got local government headquarters. Probably 2 more offices. So I'm going to pick up 10 of the books.
He's picking up 10 at the same rate with me.
Each book is 15,000 naira. Don't forget that they were printed in the UK, They're sold for £12 something in the UK. I think the pound to naira is 1,500 or so. So, so the Honourable is taking 10 copies. Is somebody writing these things down? Okay, are you writing them down?
Thank you very much, sir. I think I will do 5 copies at the same rate as it was. Thank you very much.
5 copies. That's from.
I'm going to just quietly make a decision to actually, on behalf of my cousin, my senior cousin, to support it, and of course my dear friend who invited me. I think I'll give a quick say about was this book is going to be very powerful. I'm going to school to some people, and I follow your footsteps. I will buy 10 of it for 2,000 each.
How much? 50,000.
He's buying 10 at 50,000 each. So I've come here this evening, I know it's to honor God and God for marrying well. So
I would like to add to your explanation.
Thank you very much. I'm really, honestly, I developed goose pimples while she was telling her.
So it's something that we all need to learn more about, and we all need to spread it. I want to thank God for your life, and thank you for the work you're doing. It's spreading it, and everybody can do that.
So I actually lost my appetite and I didn't eat for like a month, or properly for a month. So I had a meal, and after having a meal, which was like the first meal in the month, as I said, I sat down, and next thing I started feeling very, very strong stomach pains, like cramps. It was very, very bad. I just thought it was the after effect of COVID. And next thing I went to sleep early. I woke up the next morning and I coughed. And when I coughed, I struggled to breathe after coughing. That's when I knew that something was wrong with me, because coughing doesn't make you stop breathing. And at that time, I called my mother, Sheldon, we need to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, and initially it was just to stop the stomach pain. And they took tests. So this was happening on a Saturday night. On Sunday morning is when I went to hospital. They did the tests and stopped me from my cramps on my stomach. Then the next day the doctor came, and thank God, and they discovered that it was sepsis by the blood test. And they started the treatment, which was ultimately was very simple, but ultimately what it actually saved my life, which was basically they gave me antibiotic drip for 12 hours, every 12 hours, antibiotic drip for 12 hours, and every 12 hours for the next 5 days. And after those 5 days, I was fully back, and I could eat again, I could breathe properly. And also, one of the things that really, what I noticed about the sepsis is that it affects your speech.
The what affects your speech?
Yes. You can't speak normally. The way I'm speaking now, it was so bad that if I spoke to a friend and people were calling me that maybe the last time I'm going to speak to you. It was that bad. And because my speech was very, very slurry, and it was because I couldn't, because of my stomach pain.
Recognition, and for healthcare workers, they need to recognize it as early as possible. The people who survived sepsis without any physical disability, they are lucky, because the diagnosis was made early and prompt treatment was given using the appropriate antibiotic. And that's why when you do a blood culture to identify the organism, you also do an antibiotic sensitivity test. You test the organism against multiple antibiotics and select the one that kills it. You don't blindly give any antibiotic. It must be an antibiotic that the bacteria is sensitive to. Okay? And then finally, if you really can't prevent it, but you have it and it gets severe, get to a place that is very well resourced, that can support your organs while you are battling the infection. And that's what made a difference in the cases that we've had in the UK and also sometimes in Nigeria.
Oluwole is like a father-in-law to me, the daughter of his very close friend, is my wife, and we've been together. Now coming here today and seeing my senior in school, and then reading the transcript, and I'm seeing you are Miss Otolori. I went to school with 5 Otoloris. 5 of them. We all went to Ibobi College together. Sepsis. When I was a young doctor, the first case that introduced me to sepsis was a case of a young girl, age 11. And she was brought into the hospital. I clapped her, and within 24 hours, the left limb started. I noticed that, and I went to my consultant, Dr. Makoju, and I told him, we have a serious problem here. He says, go and take the blood sample and check maybe she has an infection that is affecting the foot. I did the blood sample, went to the lab, only to come back the following day and the right leg was all black. That was the first amputation that I did as a medical doctor. We had to cut the leg off that day. Because if we didn't, we would have lost the patient. Because it's a progressive thing. Once the necrosis starts and you don't remove that necrotic part, you're going to run into problems. So it is something that perhaps we need to emphasize. Unfortunately, like Prof said, we don't know where we're going in this country. We're losing the best of brains going out. We have very good doctors here in Nigeria. The training they give people in the hospital, in the university is fantastic. We lack support. The medical support to let these young men and women work in this country is why they are moving out in droves. So if there is any way we can advocate that government pays more attention to the medical infrastructure in this country. We have one of the best doctors in the world in this our own environment here. They do very well. A number of them travel to the United States, to UK, and they're tops and tops there where they're practicing. What they lack here is the basic infrastructure to support them. We will keep trying. We just hope that in time, those things will catch up with us and then we'll be able to make more progress. Well, I congratulate you, madam, and I wish you all the best in life.
Wonderful job. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. As a matter of fact, when Joyce wrote to me and asked if I'd be the MC, I actually never said yes. Not even up till now, I never said yes. But when we came last week, I can't remember what day, to visit her, she just assumed that I had said yes. I said, oh, yeah, she program. But then she wrote, will you be the MC again? So I asked her, I said, what do you mean again? Had I been your MC before? And she said yes, on her 50th. And I didn't remember that I was her MC. You remember? Up until this moment, I still don't remember. And she said,
aṣọ tí mo wọ̀ ló ti ẹ̀wọ̀ pàápàá.